So I want to talk about what I am and why I am the way I am. I guess I've quote unquote transitioned from being transgender to being the real me because transgender is acceptable, whereas other things aren't quite as acceptable. So it's easier just to slip into a box and live in that box because boxes are comfortable. Yeah. So to understand me as a grown-up, the only way you can understand me as a grown-up is to understand me as a child. So without going into detail, I guess the things that I did as a child, I've become aware of the things that I did as a child is what I want to do full-time as an adult. It's just that it's not normal. It's not something somebody would generally do. The closest explanation for me would be somebody who was a child actor and wants to keep acting for the rest of their life. And I'm aware that okay, so acting, yes, but there's reality. There's things like bills and warrant of fitnesses and registrations and getting a car fixed and bills to pay and grown-up stuff like that. And I tend to have a lot of anxiety around adult things, really, because I want to live in my acting world. So what am I trying to say? So as a child, I was dressed up as a girl, treated like a little princess, given a lot of attention. We're talking from the age of 4 to the age of 16. So, you know, I was raised that way. So whether I was transgender, I guess I had a form of dysphoria. But I'm not one of the type that wants to have... I have no intention of having operations to become a woman, because I'm not this is hard, because I'm not non-binary. I don't want to ever be a guy or a boy. I use the terms girl and boy when referring to myself, because this is all stuff that's happened from my childhood. Okay, I won't go into any of the reasons, the sexual abuse, the what do you call it? Child pornography. Yeah, okay. Dissociating from that word because it's darkness to me. So, I was raised that way, so I'm just a boy who was raised as a girl. That's what I am. That's how I define myself. I was a boy raised as a girl. And so the obvious answer for the people in the churches who were trying to cure me is that you're making it all up, or you're using it as an excuse, or something like that. I don't know how many pastors have had the joy of healing some boy that was raised as a girl. I think that they wouldn't understand, let alone have the power. But the power comes from God. The power comes from God. So it's God who's supposed to understand and tell the pastor or preacher what the cure is, so that pastor knows exactly which demon to cast out of you to make you free, to set you free, so that you live as the M word. I can't even say the M word. I just don't want to go there. Oh my God, no. So, yeah, we were put into scenarios as children to do sick, disgusting things to each other. And it was filmed. So I've grown up as a child actor who was a boy put into girl acting roles during pedophilia. Why don't I just say it say it as it is. Just fucking spell it out. No, don't sugarcoat it anymore. You know, it annoys me now when Christians try to sugarcoat abuse. It's like, oh, well, we don't really want to go there. We won't touch on that. But no, because they can't cure you. It's all bullcrap. It's like, no, just no. It's not even, okay? It's not even a thing. There is no God heals mental illnesses. There is nothing like that. It's all just Mickey Mouse, just garbage. It's dangerous. It is actually dangerous. It is actually dangerous because you're trying to take a boy raised as a girl and come to the conclusion that there are only two genders, male or female, and you can't be gay, you can't be lesbian, you can't be transgender, you can't be this, you can't be that, you can't be non-binary, blah, 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 blah. And then they try and heal you in Jesus' name and say you're going to now live happily as an M and marry a woman and have children. I have to laugh at that part because... yeah, I won't go into that, but I'm intersex, so that would be a miracle in itself for that to work. Anyhow, so shut up, sorry, going into too much personal detail there. So I was raised as an actor or actress, and so as an adult, my dream job, what I'm putting into practice, what I'm creating in my life now is a environment for me to be who I was as a child, minus all the disgusting, perverted, sick shit that went on as well. So those who are totally into collecting CP by the millions of MPEGs, you'll know who I am, because it's all there on video. No, it's not. It was on 8mm, and then it was transferred to DVD. I don't know these things because it's illegal, blah, blah, blah. I've been told. So I'll put it that way. I've been told. Aren't you? Yeah, okay. Don't even go into that story. So I would... So I would define myself as genderqueer. That's a new word I've discovered or learnt, whatever, and it kind of suits me. It explains me better, and because internally, the majority of the time internally, I'm female, but I was raised... Okay, so at home I was a boy, next door I was a girl. So I flitter and change between one and the other, depending on who I'm with. So if I'm in a homophobic environment, I try and dress guyish. I try and fit in as a guy, and I know, I totally suck at pretending to be a guy because... like, I don't give the right answers. I confuse them because, like, I'm giving a female answer to a male question, and it's like, It's like, Oh, what are you talking about? And please use fewer words because I don't understand what you're saying. Yeah, shut up. That was a joke from me. Yeah, so yeah, I don't really want to dress as a guy. It's just that I sing a lot of male songs and I do want to entertain as Dean Martin, Frank Sinatra, Andy Williams, whatever, Edward Wood, and Val Dunican, whatever. Oh my God. So I do want to entertain as a drag king. That's what I want to do. So sometimes I'm not... Okay, that's not a boy, but yeah, I dress up as, so that's different. I'm trying to explain this to myself. That's why it's so confusing. So, yeah. So, one thing I've been doing since I was a child, this is outside the abuse as well, is doing accents, English accents, Scottish accents, German, Russian, things like that. But it's something that's I've never ever told people about. I've never shown them. You know, I used to make cassette tapes of me being just silly, and I never played them to people. It's just like a hidden secret. I don't know why it's a hidden secret. This is so weird. I don't know what this is about, but it's almost like before I can do something, I have to see somebody else do it first. Otherwise, I'm not allowed to do it. So, costumes and different accents and that, I can't do that until I see other people do it. And now that I have other people dressing as the Grim Reaper and people doing Scottish accents and Rodney Rood accents and that, it's like they're, without knowing it, they're giving me permission to do the things that... It's like a child asking a parent. I mean... you know, I'll never get approval from my father to do anything, to be anybody, to do anything, because I'm just an evil lump of trash. But anyway, so the permission could never come from him, so I've had to seek other people to have permission to do things. So... what about the guitar? I think the guitar was the exception to the rule, because I played it at home for many years without my father knowing that I could play guitar. So that was like everything that I was doing without permission was done in well, that's obviously somehow connected to my childhood, obviously. I mean, everything was done in secret when I was a child. Okay, the fact that you can buy it on Blu-ray now is... Shut up! Shut up! No, I just... Every time somebody gets caught with child pornography on their hard drive, I know that there will be pictures of me. It's just one of those things that... It's always in the back of your mind. You know, there's a possibility... What do you mean possibility? We're talking 10 years. We're talking a decade of fucking child pornography. So I'm well rehearsed in how to be a child actor. No, I'm not going to go any further. Being forced to... Yeah, okay, shut up. Sorry. So, yeah. So, voice acting, doing drag king is my future. I left out the bit where I do want top surgery. Not top surgery, just implants. I want I don't want any hair on my body at all. That's part of my dysphoria. Top surgery, I think, breast implants. I think that would be enough for me because, it's very awkward, isn't it? Because some days I do want to go back to being a boy. And you wear the baseball cap on those days and you tie your hair up and you hide it all. It's like, okay, for whatever reason, I do that. I don't, there's no book. Turn to chapter 3, page 45, where she dresses as a boy to hide her femininity from the public. And so that breaks down year after year. Go shopping one day as a boy and you go shopping the next day as a girl. It's so much fun because you notice how you get treated better if you're as a woman. It's like, it's very, I know. Because like if you dress as a woman and you go to get your car sorted or you go into a computer shop, then at first they don't really want to talk to you. They try and avoid you. In some cases they just walk away. And then they're taking your car in for a service. They try and squeeze more money out of you than you should. And I've had to use the F card a couple of times. By F card I mean, let me just contact my father. He's a naval engineer. And I'll ask him if it needs that. And then they're like, maybe it doesn't need that. He's an ex-naval engineer, so I do know, that's the thing about that is like, I do kind of know engines, but because my dad was so angry, it's not something I'm interested in. I do know the ins and outs of tubes and wires and oil and grease and stuff, but it's not a thing. I mean, it was like that was horrible abuse in itself. Having to check oil and water and check the tires. I mean, not that that's a bad thing. It's just the way it was done was like, you'd be punished if you didn't. If you can imagine that. You'd be yelled at and shouted at constantly. And he would come out and make sure you're doing it. And it was something you had to do. It was something that you were forced to do. And therefore I have no interest in cars. So if something goes wrong, somebody else can look at it, somebody else can fix it. I don't care. If I break down, I could probably ring someone. I wouldn't have a clue what to do. No. Even though I was around him and he fixed engines for a living and he would fix the cars and all my brother's cars and his car and all, saw what was going on, but nah. Anyway, I got sidetracked. I'm sorry. So I'm in the process of this whole developing a female voice. I want to be able to talk. I don't want a male voice anymore. I don't want a male voice. So, I don't. Except for being around family who's anti-everything. I want to have a female voice, and then maybe I'll lose the interest in dressing boyish But I mean, to be honest, that's just laziness, because you get depressed and you don't want to shave and you've got hair on your face, and therefore if you go out dressed nicely, they'll think you're a cross-dresser because you've got hair on your face. So the best thing to do is to dress boyish and try and fit in as a boy, which never works. In fact, I mean, I've told this story before. I get stared at, well, now that I've got breasts, I guess, obviously, I get stared at more if I try and do the boy dress than I do the girl dress, because I'm accepted as a pregnant woman. I'm a permanently pregnant woman. That's my thing. That's my, whatever the word is, that's my thing. So why am I doing karaoke? The last 3 months, and I didn't even know this when I was doing it. I didn't even know the reason. So I was doing months of just normal karaoke, average everyday songs. And another secret was that I wanted to sing like a girl. It's a hidden secret. I want to talk like a girl, I want to look like a girl, and I want to sing like a girl. That's my 3 main biggies. I'm attracted to guys. So that was no, yes, okay, we won't even go there. So people say that I was attracted. No, I don't want to go there. I'm sorry. Anyway, so what was I saying? So I want to walk like a girl, talk like a girl, sing like a girl. So I have discovered that all the songs I sung as a child, you can't sing as a grown-up, because once your balls drop, your singing kind of disappears. Like, I used to sing Wild Boys by Duran Duran and Aha, Take On Me. I used to sing them absolutely pitch perfectly, because I could reach those soprano high notes as a child, where I could do a Michael Jackson. But now, or until 3 months ago, I couldn't reach those notes anymore, because I was too scared to well, number one, I'm too scared at home to have this voice. Okay, but I'm at home, but my dad's gone out shopping, so he won't hear any of this ever, so that's cool. So rehearsing is sitting in the car and stretching your vocal pitch to reach that one note higher, and then your throat gets sore and you rest it for a couple of days and you stretch it a bit more. And now I can do most of Aha, Take On Me, except for that last final word in the chorus, you know. I'll be gone in a day or 3. I can't quite reach that the end note. So I practice that and practice that and I practice that, and I'm going to nail it. And then I just discovered my favourite song as a child. I just rediscovered it. It's Love Is Like Oxygen by Sweet. Love is like oxygen. You know, it's like, oh my God, that's so way up high. It's like, I used to sing that out loud as a child, and now it's like, okay, I'm going to have to train my vocal cords to sing that as I did as a child. So, and that I can't explain. I've got 3 vocal ranges that I can access. There's the male voice, there's this one, and then there's one higher than this. And I don't understand in my mind how I can tell myself to access the 3 different ones. I mean, the first one, obviously it comes in whenever I go shopping. Your voice, totally drops out. In fact, I I've had to rehearse things like, I'd like a McMuffin, a massive McMuffin hunger buster with a large cappuccino, please. And then she asked me something, a totally different question that I wasn't prepared for. So my voice just dropped back to male, and it's like, oh shit. So yeah, so I'm rambling again. So I want to stretch my vocal cords, and I want to be able to talk like this 24/7, except when I'm home, obviously. Imagine saying, hey Dad, would you like something for tea? And you go, what's with the female voice? What are you on about? You know? Yeah. So I think that covers it. So I want to, okay, so that's the problem I'm having. I want to create a group of people that want to do singing, play an instrument, guitar, bass, keyboard, piano, whatever, flute, harp, whatever, and some bit of dancing and a bit acting. I just want to create this group. And the reason why I'm creating the group, I know, is so that I can extend my childhood out, because that's the way I grew up, that's the way I know, that's how I was taught to live. Imagine being taught, exactly, like a parallel with that. So from the age of 4 to 16, I was a boy dressed as a girl, but as well as that, from those same ages, I was taught that the world was only 6,000 years old, that dinosaurs went on a Noah's Ark, that the flood was a real thing, and that all ape cavemen and the Australopithecus and all that, they're all forgeries, they're all fake, that the reason light travels from billions of years from stars is because God made it look that way. All these lies, I was told all these lies, you know. This is ironic because Christians have to tell lies to keep the faith going side by side with science. So therefore, the obvious answer is that scientists are evil. That's it. Yeah, that's it. I mean, obviously, you know, these scientists that say the world is older than 6,000 years, they have a satanic agenda. It's bloody obvious, isn't it? Yeah, of course. So, yeah, so minus the abuse, I want to create a group that I can be me in this group, but nobody else in the group, I'm totally aware of that, of course, nobody else in the group will have the reason that I have. They're just going to be people that want to do acting or be a musician or be a dancer, and they can plug into my concept and have fun. And, you know, somebody's going to want to make money out of it. Somebody's going to have ideas how to promote it and get it known, and this thing where, you know, they can do whatever they want, and I'll just dress up as David Bowie or Elton John or whatever. I mean, the queer show is going to be the best one, where I do like Lou Reed, Walk on the Wild Side, like Lola, just you know, Frankie Goes to Hollywood, just all these queer songs, and people can just dress up as whatever, do whatever. Wouldn't it be funny, like, if I did an Eric Holmberg, back in those days, like, there were so many Christian books and videos on how the evil music is shaping the environment, is ruining the world. Like, back then it wasn't the transgender that's causing tornadoes, no, it was the rock music. It was rock music that was causing floods and hurricanes and disasters and famines and things like that. That was the cause of it. No, don't argue. It's scientifically proven That Led Zeppelin and Deep Purple caused hurricane. AC/DC. Oh my God, the tornadoes they caused. I mean, God. So yeah, before the gay agenda, there was the rock and roll agenda. So you could do somebody could do a history of the agendas in the Christian world. Like the biggest one was the Smurf agenda, but then it was outshone by the Harry Potter agenda, and then it got covered up by the Yu-Gi-Oh agenda. And it's like, now it's the My Little Pony agenda again, because all Frozen. It's the Disney agenda. That's what it is. Disney's trying to push their gay agenda on young children and blah 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 blah. So that anyway, I'll end it there. So I want to create a group where I do what I want to do, and other people play the instruments that create the music for it, whether we're doing an actual David Bowie, Elton John, Freddie Mercury song, or more ideally, we create our own songs. What a concept! We create our own music. I mean, obviously, I've got to go back to the movie thing before I finish. Okay, so obviously, the biggest effect on my life is Pink Floyd, The Wall. That movie is about me. That movie is about me. That and Voldemort's movie, Spider. Pink Floyd's The Wall and Spider are about me. Those two movies were made about me. So, obviously, I want to create a concept album, like The Dark Side of the Moon, The Wall. I include Metallica's Black Album as like a concept album. For me, there's an actual storyline that I've never told anyone about, but there's The Unforgiven, there's like a storyline of this man trapped in this cave, and he breaks free, and I've got this whole concept that I've created from that, which I could turn into my own concept album. And we're talking like concept album like Sgt. Pepper's even, like just as long as it's got a theme through it. Like Wish You Were Here. I mean, yeah, obviously Wish You Were Here. I mean, none of the members were talking to each other. They're all sick of each other's guts. They weren't engaging with the audience, and we wish you were here, but we're millionaires and we just stoned off our asses and we're just burnt out, and oh my God. Anyhow, so that's why I want to go back to the movie, and I'll finish there. So whenever I watch Pink Floyd The Wall, or when I watch any movie, in fact, in the 90s, I spent almost every day of my life watching a movie. So I've watched some of the worst movies ever made because I had to live in a movie that was part of my mental disorder. And now, I mean, I still do it now, but the ticket prices are just astronomical. So I can watch a DVD, whatever, but it's hard to read. Yeah, I know it is. Some movies you can go into again, some you can't. Like Schindler's List. I watched it when it came out in the pictures, and I've never seen it since because it was so powerful. It's always at the back of my mind. I can go to a scene when somebody's talking about something to do with the Holocaust or anything like that, and it's like I don't need to watch the movie to remember that clip, that bit of that movie. Whereas, So most people, focus. Most people watch a movie and they come out the door of the picture theatre and they go straight back into reality. I don't do that. I have 2 or 3 hours, which is really cool because you by yourself at 2 or 3. You have to be by yourself for 2 or 3 hours after the movie. So I have 2 or 3 hours after the movie's finished that the minions are real in reality, that Dementors are in reality, that Stormtroopers are in reality, that the Death Star is in reality. So, okay, I understand now that that's happening, whereas in the 90s, I didn't know what was going on. I was talking to people and they thought I was crazy nuts because I wanted to go and see. I mean, it's like, yeah, again, it's the same as a child. But you're an adult, so there are rules. It's like you're not allowed to play that game because your body is old, you're an adult, you're over 18. You shouldn't be doing that. But you can't tell a nutcase such as me that you're not allowed to believe in Star Wars in Stormtroopers now because the movie's over. It's like, I don't understand that. So again, I mean, there are some people that obviously can live in fantasy la la land full-time 24/7. They're called flat earthers. Take a dig. And creationists live in the fantasy world 24/7. Except that's dangerous because they raise up children such as myself to believe. I was told, no, I'm going to say this. I was told that dinosaurs didn't exist. That all the bones you see are all forgeries. They're all made up. And there are YouTube videos you can watch where Christians are approving the point that dinosaurs didn't exist. Talk about nutcase loony gaga. Oh my God. So I was taught, I was raised to believe that dinosaurs didn't exist and all the garbage that goes with that. So anyway, they can live in fantasy 24/7, but I can't. So now, but it's fun for me now because I've just seen Bohemian Rhapsody, I've seen Rocket Man, I've seen Yesterday, and it's like these are movies you want to live in a bit more than normal people would. And it's like, because I'm doing tribute shows to David Bowie, to Elton John, to Freddie Mercury, that I can watch the movie and stay in the movie while my show's on. And like, you hear stories about actors that really get into their role. And so what I do is I practice talking like David Bowie. I practice talking like Elton John. I practice talking like Freddie. Except, it's a bit up there, but so that's what I want to do. I don't want to be transgender. I want to be a voice actor looking like a female, talking like a female, singing like a female. That's me. And you can either, call that total insanity, and I'm fine with that, because I was a boy raised as a girl, so what thesis can you point to cure me of this problem? If it's a problem, which it isn't, it's something I can potentially make money out of? Do a drag show. Shut up. Too easy. What? You want to make it more complicated? Yeah. It's not just a show, a one-man show, a one-woman show, a one genderqueer show. It's a group of people coming together just to have fun. I never had fun as a child. Never had fun. Never. So that's another selfish reason. I want to have fun now that I never had as a child. I want to have the toys now that I never got as a child. Okay, I was spoilt with the Star Wars figures. So that's the one thing. If I still had my Star Wars figures in the boxes, I would be a millionaire. But life, no point in crying over spilt silk, milk. What do cows drink? Milk. Shut up. So movie. I want to make a movie, but I know I'm making the movie. There's the difference. I want to make a movie about what I'm talking about now, and I want to make a concept album about what I'm talking about now. But I realize that they are in a fantasy world, and I realize that I can go into the fantasy world, but I have to teach myself that I have to come out of the fantasy world to do things like make phone calls, pay bills, go see the doctor, get my blood tests done, even with hormones, like getting that sorted and going to appointments, all the adult stuff. So you've got to come back to reality. So in fact, here's the thing for me. Why don't I give myself a little reward for living in reality? I know this is totally nuts, but this is nobody has a study on how to fix a boy that was raised as a girl. There's no study, there's no thesis, there's no journal, there's no peer-reviewed article in a journal to say here's the cure, here's the fix. So what if I give myself a little reward for every time I do something in reality? Like, my warrant's due now. I have to re-register the car for another year. Was it 2 years? I don't know. Hope it's 2 years. That'll be less of a fucking pain. Anyway, so yeah, what if I give myself a reward for doing that? And let's get real personal now. Because I live in a fantasy world, I have trouble with normal everyday stuff, eating healthy food, keeping myself clean, changing my clothes every day, having a shower every day. I have problems that normal people don't have. So if I reward myself for being in reality, then I will maybe want to live in reality a bit more than I do. Yeah. Okay, that's me done. And I thought this was going to take an hour, but no. Oh well. Cool, bye. Do 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 do, rainbow flying high.